It's a little bit like a late night talk show. Yes. Talk show, yes. So I'm going to sit down first, ask them some questions about the development process, and then Annie is going to come and ask them some other questions. Should I sit here or here? Okay. It doesn't matter. All right, welcome, guys. First of all, I like to say that I'd like to ask you, how long have you guys been friends?
Well, Duncan just moved here
Yeah.
this school year, so we've only been friends for about a year, basically.
Since September,
Yeah,
August.
September. Yeah.
But you guys joined the class together, right?
Yeah, because I felt like it would be pretty cool since we both play a lot of video games, so creating one would actually be a lot of fun.
So, what would you say that both of you are good and bad at? What are the strengths and weaknesses that both of you have, which makes you good as a team?
Well, I mean, we're both pretty unfocused, so we'll we working on something and then we might get distracted for a bit. But I feel like I can stay focused for a bit longer. Maybe sometimes Duncan will we'll lose the focus a bit
Yeah.
quicker. But
And if for a bit more into the coding perspective, I am horrible at games coding. But when it comes to HTML and coding websites, I'm not too bad at it. But it still looks like it comes out of before my time.
yeah, I let him do the website because that's not my thing.
Okay, cool. How has it been working together? Or what are some things that have gone well? What are some things that didn't go that well?
We actually did very well in the start. We got a lot done quite quickly.
Yeah.
But then when we started getting into things that I didn't know how to code, it was a bit slow for me. And then, well, some of the art took a bit to come out as well. So that's when we slowed down a bit.
Yeah, when the focus started to drop, and sometimes, well, I'd stop doing specific things, like creating a specific art piece for the game. And, but as he said in the beginning, things were getting churned out extremely quickly. But as time went on, we
Yeah.
started to lose the productivity.
Well, that's not that much on you guys. I would say that when we started the course, we were using the same programming language and tools that we used with Bitcamp. And what we found out was that we were running into this issue that that kind of framework was fine for smaller games. If you're very, very new to coding, it's a good way to start. But we were running into this limitation of not being able to make a more sophisticated game very easily. So we ended up kind of changing halfway through to another framework, which is actually a professional framework that developers use, and that really slowed us down a bit. And we actually had to get help from a real game developer at the end, who helped us a lot with the coding bit. So those are actually things that are very normal in these software development processes, where you can't, beginning the project, you can't really see how the complexity of the project. That's something that changes over time. Okay, so what about the name? How did you guys come up with a name?
That was all Tom.
I have no clue. I just came up with it. It's same with the name for the game. Yeah, I just came up with it. I don't know. I
On
don't
the
know where I
spot.
got it. Probably from TV.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought of something that sounded not fake,
Mm-hmm.
and then boom, there you go, TiVo or Tevo.
Nice. Okay, let's. Can you go to the next slide? Let's go to the game itself. This is the current title screen for the game. Can you just talk a little bit about the game and the whole thing behind it?
Alright, this is Beneath the Barren. Basically, it is to take place on a desert wasteland and into a lab. Tom's got all the extreme details down in his memory, so...
Yeah, lore behind video games and other stories is I love doing this. I even had to write a short story for school and I based it off the video game. So basically, like you said, it's Earth, but it's after apocalypse. An AI was created, but it was sentient and then basically sent these robots on the left and the right out, and it basically just destroyed the Earth. So humanity fled to space, and then So basically every week, an inmate is sent from these colonies out in space to Earth to try to defeat the AI. And we were gonna add like these small little like story cards that you could find in the game, but we didn't have time. So basically, there have been 29,000 inmates, and he is the 29,000 in the first. And basically, you just go into the lab. It's we want to make it like puzzle like, and then you defeat the AI. That's the game.
Nice. And is there like some story to the name? Why the name?
Well, that, like I said, I came up with that pretty pretty quickly, but
We based the entire game off of the name.
Yeah.
But the name pretty much describes it. Beneath the Barren Wasteland. And so you'd go into the lab, which is under,
Right.
and take on your challenge.
The one go to the next slide. So these are some characters from the game. Would you like to say something about
the main character's on the left. Duncan, you designed him.
Yeah, so I based it off of some, I don't remember, something related to Destiny, Halo,
Star Wars
2, using the Mandalorian visors. And basically all I focused on was the visor, and then, barren desert wasteland, so you'd be wearing protection from like sand, dust, and everything. So I put them in a full cloak, or armor, whatever you want to see it as, with a gun, obviously.
Because you don't go to a destroyed planet without weaponry.
What are you gonna do?
And,
Beat up
Yeah.
a robot?
So I made the other two. So the middle one is like a scavenger. So he's got very like rustic clothing, sort of tattered from the all the sand and rocks. I basically just wanted him to look as run down as possible, but still looking cool, because then it would just be boring. So yeah, he's holding a little knife. He's got a sword for an arm, because I kind of messed up, so I just drew it. I just went with it. And then the far right is a heavy inspiration from Destiny, which is a video game franchise which I love. So I took it off this robot species, which basically it's just like a robot frame, but it's powered by like a liquid running through it. So all the blue is the liquid, sort of, and then he has these two big cannons on the right, and then the center. So this is actually the boss. This is the AI, basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Last slide with the level, and then we'll end it there. So maybe just say something about this is a screenshot of the level using the level program that we use to design it.
Alright. Well, I missed the lesson in which this thing was made because I was off in the United States of A. And so I spent a while using Tiled, which is the software that we're using, to try and make up a map before I even knew that this version of the map had existed. And so I had to replace every single tile on this with what you see now, which took a while enlarging in Photoshop, making the tiles, and in general trying to fix everything. But starting position is where you'd spawn, obviously. But for what I was thinking is that how you see the map is not exactly how it looks right now, but a more close up, zoomed in version.
Yeah.
And so you have to walk through those up and down enemies right there and beat them to get to the door, main door into the lab. Then you fight through 4 enemies, go up a narrow passageway. Then you'll see, conspicuously, 2 pressure plates sitting there. If you step on both of them, a door right up there will open up, and you can finally face the boss. And so the concept for the boss room is that you have to beat the 2 batteries down to a crisp, completely gone, one shot, and then you can beat the boss, which will be firing back at you the entire time.
So the reason we have 3 sort of rooms is because the original concept for the game was that there are 3 different dungeons, and then each dungeon will give you a key, and then the third one will be the final boss. But we decided to change it to just one whole thing, sort of going through. And note that if one thing hits you, you die immediately. So we wanted this to be quite challenging, not necessarily the most easiest game.
Game crash.
Oh yeah, if you die, the game crashes. There's nothing else. That's how we wanted to go.